Warhammer 40k, Shoota's Blood and Teeth, released October of 2022. Available on all modern platforms, retailing for $19.99. In the bleak future of Warhammer 40k, there is only misery. Unless, of course, you're an orc. They're big, they're green, they're technically fungus, and they love a good fight. So, in a terrible future of only war and misery, orcs are the sole creatures that are actually happy and content. And you play as an orc, and the game starts with your good friend betraying you, stealing your hair squig, and kicking you out of the plane.
You's having fun there, Carcass, me old mate.
Yeah, boss, yeah! Wah!
That there hair squig is snazzy, ain't it, Carcass? I reckon he'd look more snazzy on my head.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
I's the boss, so I get the snazziest things. You, I'm having this.
Whoa!
And you're not the kind of orc that's gonna take that lying down. So you're gonna get revenge. And you're not gonna let anything stand in your way. Not the Umis, not Gene Stealers, not even other orcs are gonna stand in your way. You are gonna shoot your way through all of them. And yes, that does feel a little Saturday morning cartoon, but that is highly appropriate for both the orcs and the tone of this game in general. And that is, of course, because this is a run-and-gun kind of game. And the running and gunning do account for the blood in the title. But what about the other two parts? Shootas and teeth. Well, shootas are what orcs call guns. And there are quite a few in this game. They're all broken down into different categories, and you can have one from each category on your orc at all times. Some have ammo and need to take a break to reload. Others generate heat, and if they get too hot, will start to hurt you. But every weapon has its advantages and disadvantages, and different enemies in different situations will call for different weapons. Also, when you start the game each time, you can select what kind of orc you are, both in terms of what clan you're from, and what kind of job you have as an orc. Selecting a clan is just superficial, it doesn't actually change gameplay, so choose whatever color you want, really. However, the type of orc you are does affect gameplay. Flash Gits, Weird Boy, Storm Boy, Beast Snega. All of these have slightly different abilities, but the difference is not gigantic between them. I personally just pick at random when I start playing, because ultimately the gameplay here is not super deep. You shoot whatever's in front of you. You do your best to avoid damage, and if you have time, you go looking for crates of teeth so you can buy more shootas. Though why there's crates of orc teeth lying around different places doesn't make much sense. It makes sense when you're fighting other orcs, as teeth are literally orc money. But when you're fighting the Imperium, why would they have boxes of teeth around? Seems like that would be seen as heresy in the Imperium. But it is just a gameplay conceit, because you need those teeth to buy more shootas and also cosmetic items. If you care about cosmetic items. Once I got all the guns, I pretty much stopped caring about teeth. One thing worth noting is how completely insane boss fights get, as every boss in this game seems like it'd be too much for any single orc to take out. Though admittedly, some are more ridiculous than others. But all of them do come with a little animation beforehand. And quite honestly, those cutscenes are pretty hilarious the first time you see them.
Attention, Orc! You face Lord Horik Canorum, son of High King Valeric Canorum, High Prince of House Canorum, Master of the Blade of Gaia, Keeper of the Gates of Loralo, Wielder of the Caloric Flame, Bringer of Hope, Herald of the Holy Order of the Adamantine Lance, the Paladin of Koto, Slayer of the Lion of Essa, the Triumphant, the Light of Stars, the Eradicator.
You what?
I am Lord Horik Canorum, son of High...
Whatever.
This game at the end of the day, though, is kind of a time killer sort of game. It reminds me a lot of things you would have played on Newgrounds about 20 years ago, and I mean that on multiple levels, in terms of its gameplay, its style, and even its sense of humor, and I don't mean those as negatives. Quite the opposite, as I think this style contrasts well with the sheer misery of the Warhammer 40k setting, and it's nice to actually see something trying to have a little fun with the setting. So is Warhammer 40k, Shoota's Blood and Teeth worth your time and money? Considering its low price of $20, I would say absolutely yes. It's not a deep gameplay experience, and if we're being honest, it's not super accurate as to the world of Warhammer 40k. Instead, it chooses to have fun within a setting that takes itself far too seriously. And I always appreciate that kind of attitude. The fact you have a single orc plowing through hive cities and battlefields, taking out tanks and giant mecha all by himself, and not for any real high purpose. He's only doing it because he wants to get his hair squig back, and probably pump a few rounds into the guy that stole it, and all while being thoroughly unimpressed by everything going on around him. And the sheer silliness of this concept laid against the just horrendous backdrop that is Warhammer 40k. That contrast gives this game a unique kind of charm. And there's also a bit of replay value here. While the game won't change that much, you could play through with different weapons, and experiment with the different classes. So yes, I do think Warhammer 40k, Shoota's Blood and Teeth is worth its $20 price tag. Please do subscribe, comment, like, and tell your friends.